This morning at the Tesla plant, employees arrived to find some of their co-workers calling for change. Some workers there want to organize a union. Well, the Tesla factory at Riverbend was built with $750 million in taxpayer money. Some of the workers say their wages are not enough to make ends meet. They say that's the driving force behind their calls to organize.
Tonight, the News 4 Investigates team talks with 3 Tesla workers who are leading the union push at the solar factory. News 4's Luke Moretti has the latest.
Rob Walsh.
It's a good company.
Curtis Johnson.
I think it's great. I love the environment.
And Pete Farrell.
There is opportunity to grow.
All 3 men work at the Tesla factory in Buffalo. They love the idea of green energy and the chance to be on the ground floor of an exciting and innovative industry. But the pay? That's another story.
There's no way I could afford to buy a house on this wage.
At 26 years old, Rob Walsh took a pay cut to work for Tesla. Right now, he makes $16.50 an hour.
I thought, this could be my chance to really have a career here, to have a job that I would know I could support myself and my future family on.
At 57 years old, Curtis Johnson already has a family to support.
So we're having fajitas.
Curtis makes $15.50 an hour working at Tesla. He says making ends meet, especially with Christmas approaching, can be daunting, even with his wife working.
When you make that little bit of money, you have to think about how you're going to spend it. I try to do things throughout the year so that I don't feel so pressured at Christmas.
Pete Farrell lives at home. The 22-year-old is looking to build a future in Buffalo. He'd like to buy a house, but can't with the money he's making at Tesla.
There's always, bills you have to pay, and there's always cost of living. That's always going up.
The Tesla plant, located on the edge of the Buffalo River, was built and equipped with $750 million in taxpayer money. Politicians and community leaders celebrated the initiative with the promise of good-paying jobs in the Queen City, a reason for a new generation of workers to move and stay in the area.
Tesla was more than just a state-funded renovation project.
Linnea Brett, an organizer with the Clean Air Coalition, questions whether promises made are promises kept when it comes to the Tesla initiative.
Tesla was a promise of a new economy, of an economy with jobs that can support our families.
Annual pay for workers like Rob, Curtis, and Pete are barely above what the state considers a living wage. At around $30,000 a year, that's half the average annual wage for advanced manufacturing workers in the region.
Workers definitely would like to make more money. We all would.
Rob, Curtis, and Pete are ready to roll the dice and do something about it. They're helping to organize the workforce at Tesla with hopes of bringing in the United Steelworkers and International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. What do they hope to accomplish?
A fair playing field, better wages, and some job security and seniority.
Critics say the state did not require of Tesla or any other Buffalo Billion recipient labor neutrality agreements, which means the employers agreed to maintain a neutral position to unions.
This is a pattern of deals between governments and corporations that don't guarantee benefits to communities that we see over and over again.
How ironic that the sprawling Tesla facility sits on ground once occupied by the former Republic Steel plant that employed thousands of unionized workers.
My grandfather worked there for 17 years, and he was a steel worker. That property is definitely sacred ground. I think it's time to bring the union back to that facility.
And what sort of a response are they expecting from Tesla?
The response we're expecting from the company is to be supportive.
I don't expect much. I have no idea what the response would be.
If history is any indicator, unionizing at this colossal solar panel and roof manufacturing facility could be met with a chilly reception. Since 2011, the National Labor Relations Board has fielded at least 20 complaints from workers who accuse Tesla in California of coercing, intimidating, and retaliating against them for attempting to organize.
It's definitely a risk, but I think the reward will outweigh the risk if we can get this done. because these people deserve to take care of their families. They deserve not to struggle.
According to the Labor Department, New York State has the highest percentage of union membership in the entire country. And Buffalo, the city of good neighbors, has always been known as a big blue-collar union town.
You live in Buffalo, you know, so you can't walk around and not see somebody that hasn't worked in a union.
Linnea Brett of the Clean Air Coalition sees this as an opportunity for Tesla and Buffalo to show the rest of the country what a green economy could look like.
If we have a renewable sector that has organized workplaces where workers are given fair wages, they have job security, they have all of the protections of a union contract, that's for everyone.
We need living wages. We need where people can take care of their families. So I'm willing to stick my neck out first on the chopping block to say, hey, we need this. We need this for our families.
Now, Tesla argues that it provides a highly competitive wage and reviews salary and wages against benchmarks every 6 months. Now, in response to some of the workers wanting to organize, a company spokesman telling us a little bit earlier this afternoon, today's demonstration consisted almost entirely of groups outside of Tesla, not Tesla employees. And ultimately, it's up to our employees to decide if they want to be unionized. While we will never please everyone outside of Tesla, we have an unwavering commitment to providing a great workplace for our employees. I'm sure there's much more to come on this. This is not the last time we're going to hear about this subject.
I think this is going to be an ongoing story for quite some time, Lou.
I think you're right.
All right.
We'll keep you posted.
All righty. Now, we want to thank you, Luke, and our coverage you can find complete on our News 4 app and on our website, WIVB.com. Now, still ahead at 6. And tonight, we're hearing from Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul after a few Tesla workers called for a change at the Riverbend plant.
Those workers are trying to unionize at the solar factory, saying they want higher wages and better job security. Now we're hearing the state's position on the workers' right to organize.
News 4's Luke Moretti has more on that tonight. Luke?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul says the state's job was to breathe life into a part of the community that had been abandoned and desolate for decades. That's been done. The old Republic Steel site in South Buffalo. Now the sprawling Tesla factory after a $750 million taxpayer investment.
We're very proud that we were able to invest the money initially for Solar City and that Tesla and Panasonic are now creating jobs in that area.
But some workers say those Tesla jobs don't pay enough, and now they're trying to organize a union. Curtis Johnson is among the workers leading the charge.
I have a family to support, but I'm not going to support my family off of $15.50 an hour.
A Tesla spokesperson tells News 4 that the company offers wages and benefits that exceed those of other comparable manufacturing jobs in the region. What's the state's position on workers trying to unionize at the solar factory?
Certainly. We absolutely respect the rights of unions to go into job sites, wage a campaign, talk to the employees, and if there's a decision by the individual workers to organize, we respect that right.
Critics say the state could have included language in agreements and contracts to ensure employers would remain neutral during organizing campaigns. That wasn't the case with Tesla.
I think somebody dropped the ball. You know, there should have been some stipulations in there as to, you know, besides the number of people that was promised to work in there.
Why doesn't the state have a labor peace agreement or neutrality agreement in place for like a big manufacturing?
Well, you have to understand that we work very hard just to get people to come here in the first place. And so these conditions are not put on when we're trying to attract manufacturers who could go anywhere else in the country they want to go. I mean, many of them choose non-unionized states, and we're in competition with those. But once they come here, every member of this community has a right, who's a member of a union, to go into that job site, make their case, and hopefully win support.
According to Empire State Development, the state's economic development arm, a labor peace agreement is not required for any of the Buffalo Billion projects unless it involves a hotel or convention center. As for Tesla's position, ultimately, it's up to our employees to decide if they want to be unionized. A company spokesperson telling News 4, "We have an unwavering commitment to providing a great workplace for our employees." Luke Moretti, News 4.
And if you have an issue you'd like our News 4 Investigate team to check out, you can call our tip line. The number is 879-4847, or you can send an email to investigates@WIVB.com.
New tonight's last month, we told you how state leaders are trying to get visitors to stay in Western New York longer and spend their money.